This is the cheapest Harley-Davidson ever made. Built in China, priced under $5,000, and shaking the core of what people think Harley even is. No chrome, no V-twin, no Milwaukee steel. So what exactly is it? Stick around because later we'll delve into what might be Harley's biggest threat yet. And it's not just aging riders or EVs. For over 120 years, Harley-Davidson built its brand on big bikes, big sound, and an even bigger lifestyle. The name alone meant rebellion, freedom, and American muscle. But times have changed. Riders are aging, sales are slowing, and Harley's been looking for a way to survive. Enter the X350, a lightweight, low-displacement, commuter-style motorcycle built overseas by a Chinese partner. It's a bold move, but is it a smart move? Let's break this thing down. What is the X350? The X350 is Harley's attempt at reaching new riders. It's powered by a 353cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine that puts out about 36 horsepower. This engine isn't built in Wisconsin. It's made by Qianjiang, the Chinese giant behind Benelli. You won't find a V-twin thumping under the tank. Instead, you get a smooth, high-revving twin that feels more like a sport bike than a cruiser. It's paired with a 6-speed transmission, a chain final drive, and steel trellis frame construction. Suspension-wise, it runs a telescopic fork up front and monoshock in the back. Basic, but functional. Seat height comes in at about 30.2 inches. Curb weight sits just above 430 pounds wet. The fuel tank holds 3.6 gallons, and the bike rolls on 17-inch wheels, front and back. Brakes are single-disc units at both ends, nothing flashy, but decent stopping power for the weight class. This isn't about flexing at the biker bar or waxing nostalgic over chrome. It's about getting from A to B without selling your kidney. But does that jive with Harley's Born to Be Wild vibe? That's where the arguments start and the beers get cracked. To understand the X350, you have to look at where Harley's been struggling. Their core audience is aging. The average Harley buyer today, over 50. Younger riders often can't afford or don't want the traditional Harley lifestyle. They want lighter bikes, lower price tags, and something they can ride to work, not just to weekend bike nights. Harley tried to reach the crowd once before with the Street 500 and Street 750. Those bikes didn't hit. Reviews were lukewarm, the performance underwhelming, and the styling felt half-committed. Now with the X350, Harley's outsourcing production entirely and targeting a global audience. It's built on a proven QJ motor platform. It shares bones with Benelli's 302S. It's designed to be cheap, scalable, and easy to ship worldwide. In some markets, like China, it's being used for Harley's official rider training programs. In others, it's Harley's way to establish brand presence without forcing a big investment in domestic manufacturing. It's strategic, but also risky. If you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us keep telling stories like these and bringing you bikes that actually matter. When you throw a leg over the X350, it doesn't feel like a Harley. It feels like a lightweight, upright standard. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just different. The throttle is smooth, the engine spools up predictably, and the clutch has a light pull that makes it friendly in traffic. It's comfortable at city speeds. The gearing is commuter tuned. You can shift early or wind it out. It doesn't complain either way. Cornering is one of its strong suits. With its short wheelbase and neutral handling, it flicks through tight corners easily. The suspension isn't sophisticated, but it's firm enough to feel stable and soft enough to take potholes without jarring your spine. The brakes feel average. No ABS in some markets, though optional in others. You won't mistake this thing for a Pan America or a Sportster S unless you've been concussed, but as a daily ride, it's fine, easy, predictable, offensively inoffensive. It's the motorcycle equivalent of plain toast. Gets the job done, but don't expect it to turn heads at bike night. Here's where things get interesting. Some riders are flat out insulted by this bike. They say it's not a real Harley. They call it a badge job, A Benelli in a bar and shield costume. YouTube comments and forums are full of skepticism. This isn't what I signed up for, but others, they see potential. New riders love the idea of a cheaper way into the Harley family. Commuters appreciate the upright seating and fuel economy. And internationally, it's catching fire. In Asia and parts of Europe, the X350 and X500 are already selling well. The divide is clear. Older riders think it's a sellout. Newer ones think it's a smart move. And Harley? They're staying pretty quiet, letting the sales data speak first. Visually, this is where the tone should shift. A moment of reflection. Because what's coming next isn't just about this bike. It's about Harley's future in a rapidly changing world. Let's talk about competition. The Honda Rebel 500 is the obvious benchmark. It's got more low-end grunt, slightly better finish, and a longer reputation for reliability. But it's also pricier, and to some eyes, just as plain. Then there's the Benelli 302S, nearly identical engine and chassis, both made by Qianjiang. Same weight class, similar styling. So why choose the X350? Brand recognition. Even if it's made overseas, the Harley name still turns heads. And that logo on the tank might be worth a few $100 to some buyers. The Royal Enfield Hunter 350 also shares some market space. Slower, simpler, but full of charm and priced aggressively. It's not about which bike is best on paper, it's about feel. And the X350 is betting that a taste of Harley is enough to win hearts. The bike isn't about today, it's about tomorrow. Harley is trying to grow. They need younger riders, global riders, riders who don't care what Milwaukee iron used to sound like. If this works, Harley could build a new base of loyalists and reposition itself in emerging markets. If it fails, they risk alienating the very people who kept them alive all these years. So far, it's a tightrope walk, but one they have to make. And if we're being honest, for a $4,999 bike, the X350 is a surprisingly well-executed first step. It may not be a legend, but it might just be the start of one. You see the X350 and think, wait, Harley made that? Yeah, they did. Because even they know the whole big, loud, and pricey thing ain't cutting it with the new crowd. This bike is a test. Can Harley sell identity without a rumbling V-twin? Can it win global riders with Chinese steel and urban practicality? And more importantly, will new buyers accept this stripped-down version of the brand? Or will the old guard reject it so hard that Harley backpedals? Every major motorcycle brand has hit its pivotal moment. Honda embraced electrics. Royal Enfield doubled down on middleweights. Even Ducati has gone urban. For Harley, the X350 could be its survival instinct or its surrender flag. If it works, we'll see more of these, smaller, faster, cheaper Harleys tuned for international roads, not Route 66. If it flops, Harley will quietly bury it, pretend it never happened, go back to selling nostalgia and noise. But make no mistake, this bike is the front line of Harley's future fight. So what do you think? Is the X350 a smart move toward a broader market? Or the beginning of Harley losing its soul? Would you ride it? Or does it feel like a Benelli in disguise? Drop a comment below and tell us where you stand. And if you want more deep dive breakdowns like this, subscribe to Lost Riders. We don't just talk bikes. We talk about what they stand for, where they're headed, and why they matter. Because around here, horsepower is only part of the story.